The next link discusses the analysis statement, the major part of this course. So here's what you've been waiting for. I'm going to read through parts of this just so that I can stop in certain spots and elaborate on some things. So the analysis statement, which we call the AAS, asks you to demonstrate your understanding and achievement of the core values of the writing arts major. In this analysis statement, you're going to articulate an argument that demonstrates how your electronic portfolio, which is really those 5 works that you completed as part of the program, how that portfolio provides evidence of your having met these goals. So really you're trying to show us, what you have accomplished through this major. You may decide that there is a goal that you haven't been adequately exposed to, so you can talk about that, but you should be using your papers as examples to show the ways in which you have obtained these goals. So really here's what you're going to do. You're going to point to, you're going to quote from, you're going to reference your work as evidence within your argument, that is within the analysis statement. Don't simply write a bulleted list, don't simply write a narrative. As I say here, and I said previously, you might want to consider this similar to a research paper where the 5 papers constitute the source material that you're going to draw from as you create your analysis statement. One of my colleagues suggested I say this, so I just copied right out of her email and wanted to show you this. As I say here, it might help you to think about using evidence in this way. First of all, provide a larger discussion for each core value about how you've met that core value. Introduce an example or an illustration in some way. Present the example or illustration and explain thoroughly how the example illustrates your point. If you're at all familiar with what is called the quote sandwich, if you're not familiar with it, you can just type that in on the internet. It'll pop right up. But the quote sandwich talks about a top bun, which is the introduction to the example and the contextualizing of it. It talks about the meat of the sandwich, or if you're a vegetarian, cheese or mushrooms or whatever, which is the actual example. And then after that, the bottom bun, where you explain how the example illustrates the point you've made. And if you think about this as a sandwich, it helps because sometimes people leave off the top bun, sometimes they leave off the bottom bun, sometimes they even leave off the main part of the sandwich. But if you have all 3 parts of those with your illustration or illustrations, you should have no problem in showing how you're meeting the core values, assuming you have the rest of the discussion make sense, right? And then, as my colleague also said, if you do this consistently throughout your paper, any intelligent reader, not just Rowan professors, ought to be able to understand that you've completely internalized all the goals of the Writing Arts program. Okay, so write this so anyone can read it. Right? We do have this series of questions that I'll get to in the next video, and I talk about that you shouldn't simply try to answer all these questions, but they're meant as prompts, and that will really become one of the most important documents as well as you go through portfolio seminar. Okay, I've said this, but I just want to reemphasize it. You're not using every paper to match every value. That would be far too much. For length here, as it says, we don't really have a specific page length requirement, but I suggest a minimum of 12 pages, double-spaced text. That may seem like a lot right now, but believe me, no one comes under 12 pages, which is why I put it as a minimum. You're going to take each core value and actually copy them in, the 9 core values, and set them off from your text. If you look at the examples on the portfolio seminar page, you will see what I'm talking about. They all do that. So that's really a page of text, so you're really down to 11 pages, and you have 9 values, and once you do all of these things with 9 values, you are easily close to 12 pages, so don't feel like that's a lot. Evaluation, we use an ABCF basis, and I guess you can probably see what's missing there. That's the D. And if you don't know, if you get a D in the major, it doesn't count and you have to retake the course. So as I've told the advisors, giving Ds doesn't do students any good. you are simply going to have to retake the course again, and since this is a time when many of you are trying to graduate or get ready to do your student teaching, they really have to make a decision. Are you really capable? Have you reached the C level, or have you not demonstrated what you need to demonstrate and whether or not you deserve an F? Of course, those are very uncommon, and most people are well above that. We also don't do pluses and minuses, mainly just to keep things easy as well. If someone got a C minus and then didn't do the group work, I'd have to knock it down to a D plus. So we're back in the D category, and so we don't put any pluses or minuses. And it keeps it simple for the instructors as well. Okay, that's the end of this discussion. We'll move on to the next one.